I'm Tommy D from the KnicksBlog.com. Welcome to another edition of TKB TV on this Tuesday, as I will be in Portsmouth for the next couple of days. So Brian Geltzeiler and Moke Hamilton have been very, very kind to come in on this Tuesday. And gentlemen, how are we doing today?
How you doing, Tommy? How's it going?
Fantastic, Tom.
Awesome.
Doing great.
Let's start with you, Brian. News out of Dallas, and this is a big thing for me and what we're going to get into, how the Knicks can help improve their team moving forward with the cap situation and stuff. Lamar Odom has been not released, but he's been relieved of his duties with the Mavericks in some not surprising fashion. But a player who I once had an NBA executive tell me the most talented overall player, top to bottom, as a complementary piece as there is in the NBA. What happened in Dallas as it related to Odom and the ultimate breakup with the Mavericks?
Now, Tommy, I'm with you. Lamar Odom is one of my favorite players in the league, as diverse a skill set as you'll ever see in the NBA. In Dallas, first of all, he got traded in the middle of the night. Was very unhappy that he got traded to New Orleans in that aborted Chris Paul deal. Was moved to Dallas because he had threatened the Lakers that he was going to retire after they tried to trade him. In Dallas, and there's a lot of problems with this Dallas team, an old team, an aging team, not the same team that won the title last year. Lamar did not play well. A lot of personal things going on with him, didn't love living in Dallas, and Lamar got scapegoated a little bit in Dallas. They have a lot of other problems besides Lamar Odom,
sure.
Because Odom did not show up in shape. I mean, and Lamar bears a lot of this responsibility for what went on in Dallas, but Lamar didn't show up in shape, didn't play great for them. They weren't happy with his work ethic. His teammates turned on him, and in turn, they deactivated and sent him home. But the thing for Dallas now, Tommy, is Lamar was their scapegoat. They don't have a scapegoat anymore.
That's right. But now, as a talented player, and I'm hearing stuff, Moke, that he may actually retire or maybe leaning towards that. I'm not buying that. I think he'd be a great player for the Knicks next year or this offseason to add as that complementary piece. Could it happen? And explain a little bit what they have to do with Jeremy Lin and a lot of questions that fans have about cap structure and roster opportunities for this offseason.
Okay, so I'm going to try to keep it kind of simple here. But long story short is anything could happen, right? But then the question you have to ask yourself is, well, how likely is it? What this will really boil down to is how the Dallas experience has affected Lamar Odom's market value. So the question is there a team out there with the super duper luxury tax era on the horizon coming up in 2013-14? The question is there going to be a team out there that's willing to pay Lamar Odom $5 or $6 million a year? I don't know. Now, as far as the Knicks cap issues are concerned, the Knicks don't really have the means to improve via free agency. The mid-level exception is earmarked for Jeremy Lin,
sure.
And in all likelihood, the Knicks are going to retain him. They will have a biannual exception. I've been told that that's been earmarked for Steve Novak. That's about $2 million per year. The mid-level is about $5 million. I see the Knicks keeping Lin. I see them keeping Novak. Landry Fields, they do have his bird rights. So if the Knicks want Landry, then he'll be a Knick. If the Mavericks are interested in a sign-and trade for Landry, then maybe something can happen there. I don't see that happening. I don't see Odom ending up with the Knicks because I think he's ultimately going to go where the money is.
And Brian, the money could be in several places. He's not going to go back to the Lakers. You would think that relationship has been severed. Miami certainly is an opportunity. I obviously would love it to be in New York, but you would think as it stands right now, the way things are set up, that the Clippers, the place where he started, could be the place that he gets to next.
Two things are going to be very important for Lamar and his criteria on where he wants to play next year. Weather and the ability to win a title. Okay. Now, all things being equal with that, the question becomes, where do you want to be? And the only two candidates, to me, I think you're correct, are Miami and the Clippers. Miami is pretty much close to capped out, and they're only going to have a small exception for him. The Clippers are a little bit different. They got enough money coming off the books, and they have enough payroll, without getting too technical on the salary cap, but they have a significant enough payroll that they can offer him the mid-level exception, which will be around $5 million a year for 3 years. They certainly will be able to do that. I think that's the place that you're going to, assuming Lamar doesn't retire, that's the place you're going to see Lamar end up with the Clippers because he's back in L.A., playing in the same building, living the same life when he was happy as could be, sure. With Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and a chance to really be competitive for an NBA title.
Sure. And now you talk about guys, we mentioned Novak and Lin, Jared Jeffries and J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith has an option for this offseason that he has to think about July 1st in cashing in on or opting out. Where do you see Jeffries and particularly J.R. Smith as it relates to the Knicks moving forward this offseason?
Well, I think that Jared Jeffries is very likely to remain in New York. I think that we know that he likes playing in this city and for this team. Mike D'Antoni is gone, and that's a huge part of the reason why he came back. But I see him staying because I know that he likes it here. As far as JR is concerned, of all the Knicks free agents to be, I do think JR is the most likely to leave. JR is a local guy. He has an option for about $2.5 million next year. I'm not sure if he can get that from another team via free agency, but it's not about whether or not he can. It's about whether or not he and his representation think that he can. And I think that they will think that they can, and I wouldn't be surprised if he opts out and bolts.
I agree with Moke as well, and that opens the door for the opportunity somehow for them to bring in another shooter, whether it be a second-round pick. Somehow they're going to have to be creative. Guys, as always, thanks for the information.
No problem.
And remember, to get all your other information on the Knicks and a little NBA, check out the knicksblog.com, part of the SNY.TV blog network. I'm Tommy D. We'll see you next time.